Hi friends, and thanks for tuning in. In a previous video, we saw that you can host a static website in Amazon S3, something like a simple HTML page, maybe some images or some client-side scripts. And if you're using S3 for things like that, you might have come across this concept of CORS, cross-origin resource sharing. In this video, I'll try to demystify it from a theoretical perspective, and then if you want to see how to actually enable CORS through the AWS console, then check out this other video linked above and below. Cross-origin resource sharing. This defines how resources in one domain interact with resources in another domain. In plain English, a real-world example would be something like a house. Here you're in the same origin or same domain, and two people in that house can easily communicate. There's no barriers there. But what if one person goes to another house? Then you do have some barriers to communication, and you're in two different origins or domains. So this would be an example of cross-origin. In the world of computers, the houses are domains. So let's talk about that. A domain is made up of a protocol, like HTTP, HTTPS, the host, so www.mywebsite.com, and then a port. The port isn't always specified. For example, the default port for HTTP is port 80, so normally you wouldn't use that, but just to be complete here, I wanted to include it. And cross-origin resource sharing is concerned with when you're trying to share something with a domain that's different than the original domain or origin domain. Let's look at some examples. Are these domains the same? Well, no, obviously not. That's an easy one. But a more common use case would be something like this, where you have a website, say running on one server or one domain, and you're trying to use APIs on another domain, so api.mywebsite.com. Or maybe you're trying to pull in script files or media files or something like that that are on another domain, and you need to embed them into a page on your origin domain. So these domains here on the slide are not the same either. Or if we had different ports, that's another issue. These are not the same. Now, building out our definition a little bit more, CORS is enforced by your browser. This is not an AWS thing. It will apply to other development that you're doing outside of AWS as you're going cross-domain as well. And I'm only showing the Chrome and Edge icons here, but this applies to all modern browsers. But since we're talking specifically about hosting static websites in S3, let's go through an example to illustrate how CORS works in that scenario. So here we have an S3 bucket called Bucket 1, cleverly, in US West 2. On the other side, we have Bucket 2 that also lives in US West 2, but you'll see that we're in different domains here because the host name is different, Bucket 1 and Bucket 2. And then in between, we have our browser. So let's walk through how this works. From the browser, we're going to navigate to the index.html page that lives in Bucket 1. That page actually pulls in another HTML page called somepage.html that lives on Bucket 2. So the browser makes a request to Bucket 2 and says, hey, Bucket 2, Bucket 1, the origin, is trying to make a request. Do you allow that? Bucket 2 will send back some things in the header. One will be access control allow origin, and this says I'm allowing requests from the origin listed here, which is Bucket 1, and then the type of methods that are allowed, whether it's get, put, post, delete, whatever that method is. In this case, we're just saying get because we're retrieving an HTML page, which brings us to this important point that access must be granted from the cross-origin server. So on Bucket 2, we're saying, yes, Bucket 1 is allowed to make requests and interact with us. And hopefully that just intuitively makes sense. You wouldn't want Bucket 1 to be able to grant itself access to any random server. Oh, I want access to Bucket 3 and Bucket 4 and whatever else. The destination server, Bucket 2 in our case, should have to explicitly grant access to the resources that live on it. So once we've said that yes, Bucket 1 is allowed to access resources on Bucket 2, then the browser will send the GET request for somepage.html. Bucket 2 will then return somepage.html, and it'll display on the index.html page that we initially requested. So those are the basics of CORS and S3. This video is only the theory, but if you want to see this in action in a demo, then check out the video linked above and below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching.